On this episode, we are covering the first episode of 13 of the Guys Next-Door.
You could have said we pay a visit to NBC's Guys Next-Door.
We pay a visit to NBC's Guys Next-Door, so get ready to take pictures of your sister in the shower and sell them because you're listening to a kind of garbage TELE-SITTING podcast.
We're the guys next door, whoa! Hey, it's a kind of...
This is the TV show that I threatened to... Well, I never told you what it was, and I was like, you're gonna hate this.
We've been planning. This is our first in-person recording session in a long time.
Don't tell Dougie Ford. I don't know if we're allowed.
We're in a yellow zone.
Oh, good. Does that mean that we can? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, it does?
Yeah, you're allowed to...
No idea.
You're allowed to have a couple people over at your house. I think you're allowed to have 10 people in your house and 25 people outside.
Good.
So you've been threatening me with 2 pieces of media for the last few weeks, and we got to watch both back-to-back today.
The second one is a Patreon podcast.
Okay.
So be sure to tune in. If you don't, give us your $5.
Yeah.
But the first one...
The first one is 1990s NBC Saturday morning special. I guess it wasn't a special because it was supposed to be like a season.
It's 13 episodes.
13 episodes.
Somehow.
The Guys Next-Door.
We're the guys next door. We'll probably put... Well, the music will get, probably copyright striked on YouTube, but we're still going to put it in.
We're the guys. We're the guys next door.
You asked me, it's how the fuck did you find this?
Yeah, I don't even... This would have been before both of our... We would have been too young to have watched this.
I would have been 5 at the time.
Yeah, so This was too early, and it only lasted a season, and I don't think it had much of a...
It lasted 13 weeks.
13 weeks. I don't think it had much of a cultural impact. It kind of riffs on, the Monkees, a show that follows the... It follows, the exploits of a band, but then it doesn't. It's kind of almost a mockumentary.
Yeah, it starts with the guys in a room being like, "Hey guys," and some guy pops in and is like, "I need money. I spent it all on dance lessons." And then the other guy said, "Oh, you should get your money back."
Hey guys. What's up, Chris? Hey, Chris.
I need to borrow some money.
Yeah, right.
Life. Come on, I spent all my money on dance lessons.
Maybe you should get it back. You got burned.
Hysterical. Come on, help me out.
They're in a band together, and you're already trashing your bandmate's dance moves.
So the show, it has a pretty long credit sequence explaining who the guys next door are. Whoa. And I'll give them credit. It actually uses the actors' names. I thought they were all going to have, oh, this is Blaine. He's the fun one. But it doesn't. It goes by, Tim Lancy or whatever the guy's... it just uses the actors' names, which are pretty funny. So one of them walks in and says... "Guys, I need to borrow money." And then his 4 friends who he lives with, it's just an apartment with 5 guys. They kind of start ribbing him, being like, "Oh, sure you do." They come up with a few ideas to get money. One of them is, "Why don't we take pictures of your sister in the shower and sell them?" Which is pretty dark for an opening joke. And then...
A little bit of sexual harassment.
Yeah, that's a sexual assault. And then that cuts into... Remember, we already tried that, which did not age well.
No.
But...
Harvey Weinstein taught me.
Why don't we take some pictures of your sister in the shower and sell them?
No, we tried that, remember?
We go from that to the guys next door come up with the plan of, what if we make a video that wins on America's Stupidest Videos, and we win $10,000? And then it cuts to a music video called... What was this? The song was called, Let's Do Something Stupid.
You shoot me and I'm shooting you. Don't got it. Let's give it all video. Get stupid.
Yeah, it was, they have... It's they have a little gimmick of them talking, and then it cuts to one of their music videos. Even though some of the music... I think there's 3 music videos?
Yep. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at is... It has a setup, and I thought the setup was this was the premise for the episode of the show, but it's not. It's a premise for the music video for a song a boy band song where the theme to the song is America's Funniest Home Videos.
They called it like stupid home videos. Or
yeah. So the music video is them all holding giant home video recording devices.
The ones that the tapes that you put in are full-size VHS tapes.
Yeah, full-size VHS tape, like side-loading, shoulder-held.
Oh my god.
Video recorders. And they're dancing with them, and then spliced into that are shots of, like, them looking at pretty girls. And then also videos of people accidentally falling in pools. Yeah,
them accosting ladies as they walk down the street. And you're like, it's very 90s, which is amazing.
Yeah, very. But then it cuts, after that, it goes to a completely different segment. And that's not really referenced anymore. The whole, like, this guy needs money. That was just a setup for one song.
It turns into what Kids in the Hall is.
Well, it turns into...
like a skit show. It turns into a skit show.
Yeah, it does, but then there's also, like, musical numbers scattered throughout, which was pretty weird.
One of my favorite skits was the second one, which is Robopop, which I was excited for you to see.
Yeah, Robopop was great. It was a sketch of... I'm assuming it's trying to sell the idea of you're too young to have seen RoboCop.
I'd hope so.
So, in your child mind... you assume RoboCop is about a robot police officer. The gimmick to the sketch is, well, what does he do when he's off duty? Oh, he's got a wife and a child. So it's just this giant robot cop, like, throwing his wife around and trying to raise a child.
The kids are sitting there fighting on the couch, and she says, I'm like, oh, Papa's gonna be mad. And then he bursts through the door, he's like, oh, Dad's home. And then he picks up his wife, and he hucks her.
He picks up his wife and throws her. He picks up a school principal and throws them. He picks up a bully and throws them.
Oh my god. The bully was the best, because it was a rag doll, because he's spinning him up like a pizza above his head.
I think Robopop works on two different levels.
Okay, I agree.
It works on the level of, how do we make a Robocop sketch to children who have not seen Robocop, but because Robocop was a very famous and successful movie from like a year or two prior. Mm-hmm. Kids are aware of RoboCop.
Even though they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. Well, there was a RoboCop Saturday morning cartoon. Kids know what there was a Rambo one.
Yeah.
Kids know what RoboCop is, but I don't think they know exactly what RoboCop is. So it works on that level, and then it also just works on the level of what would if RoboCop still had his family, what would RoboCop be like when he went home?
The one thing we have to mention, too, is that as you watch this cartoon show, you're like, oh, there's RoboCop, the mom, and then the daughter and the son. These are four of the singers from the boys, or from the Guys Next Door. They're all playing the characters, like we said, kind of like, I guess, like Monty Python from that era?
Yeah.
You can't say that on television?
Yeah, like, it's like any kids... Well, it's like any sketch comedy troupe. So it's combining the aspects of, what if we took a boy band and then made a Saturday morning version of Saturday Night Live? Also added, like, musical numbers kind of, like, throughout it.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it works.
At the beginning, when you get to see, like, the beginning intro where we hear the song that we'll hear 20 times throughout it, where the Guys Next Door, they're all, like, dancing, like, they're all, like, shuffling beside each other, like, looking somewhere, and they all look, like, lost and confused, like, we don't know what we're doing. We're just like, yeah, they have blank expressions, and you looked at me like, what is this?
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was going to be, like, a sitcom. As soon as it was like, by the way, this is a sketch comedy show, I'm like, this is fucking wild. And what's also neat is, obviously this was taking place during some sort of rebranding period of NBC's Saturday morning.
I'm hoping this is going to be on Peacock.
Yeah.
The digital... If it's not, we have to send letters.
Yeah, okay, everyone. It won't be.
Write to Peacock and send them letters. Where's the Guys Next Door? I need some sexual harassment in my day. I originally grabbed this episode off YouTube. So if you look up on YouTube, Guys Next-Door episode 1, like I think it's the first result.
Okay.
I ripped it off YouTube. The YouTube version of it has lots of like static in the background.
Yeah, I noticed there was lots of tracking issues. So I'm assuming this was like a VHS recording that somebody uploaded.
I cleaned it up as best I could. We'll watch the YouTube one so you can hear what's just
I can only imagine.
The background's like... And you're like, what is that? So I cleaned it up as best as I could. Because I like to think that I can do a little bit of, like, not remaster, but I made it sound a lot better than what it was. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, yeah, so then the next sketch goes into... I thought it was them making fun of, like, a law firm commercial, but it was called Fashion Police.
I love the Fashion Police.
And then it just cuts to them making fun of, like man on the street footage of people walking around.
Where they're blurring their faces.
They're blurring their faces, but they're just... Every joke is, this guy's fat. Oh my god, look how fat this woman is.
Once we hit the beach and they see an obese woman or an overweight woman on the beach and she's taking off her stuff, she's laying down, they said, oh, we're going to need a bigger beach.
Oh my god.
And we were like, oh, like it's hard to...
Well, the gimmick is they're the Fashion Police. And they're ripping off like that Saturday Night Live sketch with Dana Carvey where they're like playing like the East German bodybuilders and they're kind of ripping off like the Mike Myers Saturday Night Live sketch where he's like the European what was it that like Gunter talk show one. They're ripping that off where they're just like, let's just play kind of like very snobbish European fashionistas.
I like to think that kids are going to sit there watching and be like, oh, this reminds me of the stuff that mom and dad watch at night, which I can kind of hear through the bedroom door.
Yeah, I can
like,
mutedly hear.
Go to bed, you're not allowed watching this. And they're less like, boogers. And they're like, yeah, this is what mom and dad watch. But no, it's two grown men being like, oh, we're the Fashion Police. And like, oh, look at Fatty over here. And you're like, no.
Yeah, because they don't even make fun of fashion. They just make fun of everyone's weight. Like, that's the...
They did make fun of a tour group. All of them were wearing pink glasses.
Yeah.
But that's how, like, it's like, oh, like, look for your member who has pink glasses on. It's like, can we not wear pink glasses? But yeah, they were like, oh, wearing it alone is embarrassing. Wearing it with a group is even more embarrassing. And I don't even think they blurred their faces either.
No, not that one.
No. Well, they weren't fat shaming them.
Oh no, a rhino Madonna!
Don't try the Madonna look if you're over 300 pounds.
Again, a lumpicita. I think they need bigger beaches.
Other than that, I'm trying to remember. Things just kind of fall into a bit of a mess. There's a joke about pizza.
Oh, okay.
Where the joke is a salad comes to ruin people's picnic.
Yep.
And the salad is made up of four of the guys next door play. One of them plays Caesar salad. The other one plays different versions of the croutons. And the croutons all have puns for names. And one of the pun was 2 live crouton instead of 2 live crew. Which I don't... In 1990, I don't know if a kid watching Saturday morning cartoons would understand.
I'm wondering if that's the joke for the parents who are, like, watching this shit with their kids and being like, 2 live crouton, I like that.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, this is so fucking wild.
Somewhere in the city, my city, your city.
Hey, get on with it, all right?
Sorry. Evil is afoot, sometimes 2 feet. In this case, 8. It's the slimy, all-you-can-eat gang. Tom Crouton, wanted for theft, larceny, and overacting. Lightly toasted, sometimes known as lightly salted, wanted for assaulting. 2 live crouton, wanted for general crumminess. And the ringleader, Caesar's salad.
Oh, and we're sitting there and we're like, who's, like, they show, like, a telephone booth, right? And they're like, oh, who's gonna stop them? We're like, oh my god, what's his name? And be like, what did you say, Pizza Man?
Pizza Guy sketch. Yeah, we just had pizza. Pizza Guy sketch. I don't even know what the premise was. I think it was still cashing in on the Ninja Turtles craze.
Do you think? Yeah,
like kids like pizza, right?
Oh, it was they were showing like the gang. They were talking about
They were in a park, and it was an old couple eating in the park, and then a Caesar salad gang comes to ruin their day, and then Pizza Guy shows up and throws pepperoni ninja stars at the croutons.
He has a pizza and he pulls them off. So there's...
And I think the entire sketch revolved around him grabbing Caesar salad to use the pun, "You're going back behind salad bars."
Which is amazing. I'm surprised they didn't say toss the salad at some point.
He did.
Did he say toss the salad?
Someone said, "Let's toss him."
Oh my god. So the goons' names are, you have Tom Crouton, then you have Lightly Toasted, 2 Live Crouton, which we mentioned, and then, I'm looking at it right now, and then Caesar salad,
Yeah. And then just a guy wearing a
Clark Kent costume.
Yeah.
And we were just like, what are they going to call him? What are they going to call him?
I thought the joke was, because it's like at a restaurant, there's soup or salad. I thought the gimmick was it was going to be Soup Man instead of Superman. It's not. It was just pizza. It's like, what's salad's nemesis?
Pizza guy.
Pizza. Okay.
Yeah. His cape is a pizza slice, and then the, what's it called where it goes around your neck, or it connects to your neck?
Oh, what, like the collar or whatever?
Yeah, like the top of the cape was the actual pizza crust. So they have...
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's production value. I just imagine them going to that guy's, like, costume warehouse where he's like, what the fuck's the matter with you? You fucking ass in here and get some costumes. Like, they go to that guy's place. And like, do you have a Pizza Man costume? It's like, yeah, we got a Pizza Guy. We'll take it.
Do you have a giant slice of pizza I can wear as a cape? Yeah.
Get up off your ass and get the fuck down here! I got shit over here I'm trying to fucking sell!
Yeah, I got that.
Do you have crouton masks or helmets?
How many do you have? I got 4. Perfect. Alright, 3. Perfect.
So I'm going to try and remember, I think there's 2 more sketches. One was, like, the Parent Olympics.
Yeah, which overstays its welcome. When they redo 2 sports, they've run out of ideas.
The first one was it wasn't called the Daddy Discus, but it was
called the Dishcus.
The Dishcus, but it was for the dads.
And it was dads throwing dishes, and then the moms would go and wash them and put them away. And then the other one was the high jump, but the bar they jump over has clothes hanging, like a drawing line.
Yeah, which that one didn't really work that well. That was the very first one, which I was just like, oh, I guess. But then they had the nagathon.
Oh, the 200-meter nag.
Yeah, which was the grandmother nagging at their grandkids, and the kids are like, what's going on, Grandma? Grandma's like, don't you do that. Like, just, like, childish things, but like...
really stupid things.
Yeah, and then they had, instead of shot put, they had the purse put,
mm-hmm.
which was just women hucking their purses. It wasn't great. That segment was shitty. The one song that was confusing because they're singing to women. They're singing to a girl.
Most of the songs were confusing because the audio was so washed out from being transferred from VHS tape to computer.
Yeah.
That it just sounded like people singing in like an apartment across the street.
And yeah, they're mumbling because they don't know the words.
Girl, gonna come and
well, the one was they were in line and they were trying to woo this girl.
Mm-hmm.
But the premise of that's the song is that they're trying to woo a girl into like letting them into her. Like that was the song. But instead the music video is them in line for a club and there's this big tough black man being the bouncer. So they're like, I'm gonna woo you, like to get into the club.
Yeah, it was kind of a muddled message because you don't Are they
trying to woo this big tough black man?
Are they wooing the girl? They're like, I want to get into the bar so that I can like woo you.
Mm-hmm.
Or am I trying to woo the bouncer to let me into the bar?
It's implied that they're trying to woo the bouncer, but the song
I don't know. I honestly think...
is, I'm trying to woo you, girl, to get in you. And I'm like...
there's a lot of things like that where it just kind of gets lost, where you're like, what are they singing about? Like, and then the rest of it is just like too on the nose. Like, one of the dance moves is just them all dry humping the air, and it's like, gonna do you right? And it's like, yeah, okay, sex, I get it. This is a show for 11-year-olds.
Yeah, it's basically like, just imagine the New Kids on the Block, shitty, and... Not that the New Kids on the Block weren't already shitty, but then like what S Club did. But S Club had an actual TV show that had a storyline throughout the episode where they would just also sing their songs.
I think S Club, not that I was a huge fan of S Club, but I think...
Everybody liked S Club.
Yeah. I think S Club kind of did it better. I think it kind of got the formula where it was, let's do a band, but then kind of do like a fake There was another... What was the other one that was the boy band? And it was on YTV.
I don't know.
Oh, it was like a Canadian version of S Club, where the gimmick was they were a boy band.
I remember a TV show called... Because there was a game for it called The Naked Brothers Band. Is that the one?
It's not that. It was 5 guys. It was the standard boy band formula, 5 guys.
There's so many. But I don't remember a TV show.
Yeah, there was a TV show, and I'm almost positive it was Canadian.
Ugh.
And like, the joke was, like, one of the guys was, like, a middle-aged balding guy.
I don't know. How embarrassing.
That's okay. But I think that has the formula where it's like, okay, they're a band. Let's have some sort of half-hour gimmick where we can play... we have 22 minutes. We can play at least 3 3-minute songs, and then we just need to fill 15 minutes. And it's like, okay, like, that's doable. What if we come up with a 15-minute show where there's just one gimmick, there's no B story, it's just one of the guys needs money, let's raise money, play a couple songs, do like a little story in 3 acts, and then that's it. But like, they don't. They're like, let's just turn it into a sketch comedy thing, but still try to have a story, but then the story is brushed aside. I think the formula, I think they're onto something with the formula. It just needed a little bit more fine-tuning, and I think this could have been a bigger thing.
I agree. I thought a lot of the skits were funny. It was made for kids, but I don't know, like, it didn't even introduce them, other than the intro where they're like all like not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
It didn't introduce who each person was. You didn't get like a character per person. So I think that's where they really failed. But like, we watched what would be the pilot.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, it's just these 4 guys hanging out in their loft.
Well, I think it's also weird too, because it also has a lot of that like weird, I don't know, I don't know if it was Nickelodeon or Disney Channel, but it's like when they started making all those sitcoms for kids, but then the basis was a sitcom for a kid can only be so funny when everything revolves around like, well, you need your parents' permission to do all this. So what if we make it so the kids have their own apartment? Or what if we make it so the kids have like full-time jobs? And then you're watching this weird show where it's like 2 14-year-old girls that are roommates in New York City in a giant like 3-bedroom loft apartment. And you're like, to an 11-year-old, you're just like, okay. But like, as soon as you like get a little bit older, you're just like, wait a minute, I don't fucking understand what's going on. Like, are the parents dead? like
how do they afford this place?
Well, how do they afford it? Where's the parental guidance? Why is there always like an 18-year-old guy who hangs out with them, who exists to like drive cars and be the parental figure, but he's not?
But he does not live there. No, it's like my cousin. This is my cousin.
Yeah.
And then the roommate girl is like in love with the cousin, but they can't have it because he's way older than her, and it would be super inappropriate.
Yeah, but it's kind of like this.
So this show needed a bunch of little girls with him, is what you're saying?
Yes. This show had a lot of that, where it's kind of like these guys are all in their 20s, but it's 5 guys living together. But it's like, why the fuck are 5 guys living together? And then they're also played, I don't know, they're supposed to be like successful. I don't know. It's weird. I honestly don't know what to make of it, because it's like, I find now whenever I see any show or media like this, that's all I can think of. Like, I can't kind of suspend disbelief. I just kind of look at it and go like, okay, so they're 5 successful musicians. Why do they live in why do they share a 1-bedroom apartment?
It's probably a studio apartment.
And then yeah, a studio apartment. And then also, they're sharing this apartment, and they're always talking about like bringing girls home. But then it's like, what are you going to do with a girl when you get her home? Like, it's just 5 guys staring at a girl. Like, I haven't even, yeah.
They're like, oh, I never even thought about actually getting one home. What happens when I do get one home? I have no idea. Would you watch more episodes of this? Did the first episode pique your interest to be like, what the fuck is this? Do they have anything there to continue?
For me, no.
No? I'll fucking check it out. I don't know if all the other episodes are online, but
I'm curious to watch the last episode to see
if they ever did get a girl inside.
See if they ever woo that bouncer. I'm curious to see the last episode to see if this was filmed
all at once.
If it was filmed all at once and it is what it is, or if at any point they kind of made adjustments to it and tried to fix it. I did read online, I did a little bit of research for the Guys Next Door. Whoa. And it said that they were supposed to also represent 5 different ethnicities.
What? There was a black guy, there was a
black guy and 4 white guys. So hang on.
Okay.
So originally it was supposed to be a white guy, a black guy, an Asian guy.
That's 3.
Native American guy.
Okay, that's 4, yeah.
And then,
British?
No. What the fuck is wrong with you? No, like,
oh, wait, we're seeing,
like
can Cody name 5 different races?
No, I can. I can list them all. No, trying to remember who the 5th one they picked was. I believe it was supposed to be Indian.
Okay, yeah. And then
they did, so they cast 5 actors, and apparently the white guy and the black guy stayed. And then the 3 other, so the Native American, the Asian, and the, I guess, East Asian or Indian, they didn't, what's it called when they do, like, test group? Yeah, like
like focus groups.
Focus group, thank you. They focus grouped the original pilot, and those 3 guys they didn't like.
They all walked out and going,
please cut that. Those 3 guys, I guess, didn't focus test well. So instead of being like, maybe it was the actor, and to be fair, it's the 90s, so I think it was more socially acceptable just to be openly racist about shit.
Oh, it's 2021 now, and, like, go America.
Yeah. So I don't know what the focus test notes were. Whatever they were, the NBC decided the 3 other, like, 1 black guy is enough diversity. So they were like, get rid of these 3 and just bring in 3 more white guys.
To Peacock.
To the Peacock.
Cody, where do you rate this on your top? Well, we don't have top 10 for TV shows yet, but do you remember your current top 3? It's 3 shows. I want to see if you can guess what
I
order.
Can't even remember. I know Clerks was one of them. The Odyssey was one of them, and Kings was one of them.
Yeah.
Did I rate them?
You
Odyssey, Kings.
No, you. The order you did was from bottom to top. So Clerks, Odyssey, Kings.
Okay, I would rate this above Clerks.
So this would be your new number 3.
Yeah.
Knocking down Clerks one more. You're still like, fuck you. You would rank this above Clerks.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. All right. So for myself, I have The Odyssey as number 1, Clerks as number 2, and Kings as number 3. I would put this number 4 under Kings.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. We're gonna probably watch the last episode if we can find it, see like where this went.
Yeah.
Which was probably nowhere good. But yeah, if you ever want to go through the time capsule that is the internet of just weird things.
Well, it's funny you say that, because there's also a weird blog that I read in the last year, and it was on kind of like forgotten media, and it talks about like media that's either now considered like urban legend or media that was aired once and then never aired again. And I know there was like in the 70s there was a BBC sitcom, I can't remember the name of it. I don't know if it was just a pilot episode or a full season. I think it might have only been 1 episode, and the gimmick to the show was, what if Hitler changed his name and then moved back to the UK after the Second World War and was just like living in an apartment with his wife, pretending not to be Hitler, but like it's very clearly Hitler. And I think that, I don't even know if that episode was aired, but that's kind of a legendary one. And then the other one was, they made a movie about it a few years ago called Christine.
Oh, the car?
No.
Okay.
It was about a newscaster down in the States for some some small news channel. But I guess, I don't know if she was like, she had depression or had mental health issues or something. She ended up killing herself on air.
Ugh.
And that kind of became a big thing, was people saying like, I don't know what it is, but there just always seems to be people recording everything. Like, it, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems impossible that like something like that, but that's something that never made it out. And then another one that was interesting was the Werner Herzog documentary Grizzly Man, about that guy who went to go live with the bears. And apparently there's like, because he was recording himself when he was attacked by a bear, and he went up there. I think he had brought a woman with him and I think they both were attacked and killed by a bear. But Werner Herzog did like a whole documentary about it, and then the documentary ends with, because I believe the original recording is still owned by like one of the Grizzly guys' family, and they've never shown anyone. And then the documentary ends with Herzog watching it and then being like, "Yeah, we're not including this." And I don't know if it was Herzog or someone else who's seen the tape has been like, it doesn't show too much, but it's mostly just audio off screen, and it's two people being eaten alive by like a 1,500-pound grizzly bear. They're like, it's fucking horrific. What other good lost media is there? Oh, I know there's a huge urban legend about an episode of The Simpsons that was pulled that people claim to have seen, but apparently it's never been included in like any of the rebroadcasts or any of the.
I don't know. There's lots of like one that comes to mind is Rocko's Modern Life. You can buy it on DVD, but it's not the original broadcast versions. After getting like complaints from parents about like more adult situations or jokes in it. Yeah. So there's lots of like edited versions of things that are missing. That unless somebody has the original like recorded or like stored away, like you're never gonna see it again.
Which I think, yeah, it's weird to think that like TV got so popular that it went from like there was at one point almost everything that was broadcast somehow was being recorded and transcribed and everything to like now there actually is like weird lost in the ether media that just...
The most famous is Doctor Who, because BBC recorded over their early episodes and they're gone.
And I don't 100% remember the details, but I believe the NFL... So the NFL is a huge stickler with copy, like they're protecting their copyright and everything. I believe the NFL has lost or destroyed by accident their original recording of the first Super Bowl. And I think there are like pirate versions of it out there, but like the copyright does not belong anymore. I remember reading into a whole thing about that, and that's like a whole weird thing as well.
Somebody has the recording, but we'll sell it to the NFL for a lot of money. Like, we're not buying off you; it's ours. He's like, well, I recorded it, so blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Everyone, check out akindofgarbage.com. Email us at akindofgarbage@gmail.com. Check out our Twitter and Instagram at akindofgarbage. Facebook at akindofgarbagepod. Patreon.com/akindofgarbage for new episodes every other week that you can only hear there. You can find myself on Twitter at Presto Adam and on the Hated Kids Comics radio show Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Trent Radio 92.7 CFFF-FM. Cody, where can people find you?
I'd rather they don't. I would like to join the ether of lost media.
I was going to say... Listen to an old episode, you'll find...
Yeah, listen to an old episode of me. I want it to be like that. I want people to go, he never existed. I've seen him, but he never existed.
With that, I'm Adam Bishop.
And I'm Cody Andrews.
And don't forget to take pictures of your sister in the shower.
Please don't. We are, I believe, less than a month away, because I think it's March that it's coming out, to the 4-hour Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
I thought you were about to say 1 year anniversary to the original lockdown, but yes.
That too.
The
What's worse?
the Snyder cut.
The Snyder cut.
It's coming.
He's going to fix everything.
For only 4 hours of your time. Is that with or without credits? Because that's like the second and third Matrix movie credits are like 15-20 minutes. Like, they're fucking long.
I'm assuming it usually includes credits with runtime, but still 4 hours? Like, that's...
We joked, and we might do it. We joked about watching it and setting up the microphone in front of us as we watch it and just record and have a live... Not even a riff track. It'd be like a cry track.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be us talking. You'd hear muffled audio of the movie, and then us just once in a while going like, and that would be
I'll give him this, because I recently rewatched Justice League.
Never seen it. I've seen half of Batman vs. Superman.
Batman vs. Superman's incredible.
Okay.
Just along the lines of Batman vs. Superman's incredible for just how weird it leaves. Like, just even Snyder's Man of Steel movie, where he keeps trying to, like, drill into the audience's head that, like, Superman is not Batman. Like, the entire point of Superman is that he's supposed to be a beacon of hope. And then even Snyder gets lost, and the movie ends with, like, instead of Superman trying to find a way to, like, save people, he just engages in a fist fight in the middle of Metropolis and destroys Metropolis.
What are the odds we're going to see Batman versus Superman footage in Justice League? It's not going to happen.
1,000%.
You think so?
Yeah, 1,000%.
I could care less about this. For the new DC movies, I saw Wonder Woman. It was fine until the end, until we got, like, an ACU movie.
MCU?
No, ACU. The Avengers Cinematic Universe.
Is it the Avengers Cinematic Universe?
That's what I'm calling. I don't call it fucking.
Okay.
Fuck, it's Avengers. Anyways, yeah, you got a CG fight, and I was like, oh, there we go. Like,
yeah, well, that's the last 25 minutes to Batman v Superman is just a giant CG fist fight.
Is Doomsday in that?
Yeah.
See, I didn't even get far enough to see Doomsday.
Which, I don't know. When I watch his movies, I think...
Whose movies?
Snyder's.
Snyder? Okay.
When I watch his movies, I just think, like, this is so stupid. But then when I actually think about his movies, I'm like, I almost understand why he did what he did.
I like his cold cuts.
Like, Schneider's. The fact that he just tacked Doomsday on to be, like, a faceless villain that forces Batman and Superman to team up to fight, I get it, because, like, to me, Doomsday doesn't have a very interesting origin story, nor does he, and he doesn't have, like, the original comics Doomsday, I don't think is even an interesting foil to Batman.
Yeah.
Or to Superman, sorry. I think Superman has, like, much more interesting villains. Like, I think Mongol's more interesting, Zod's more interesting, Brainiac's more interesting, and then you have Doomsday, where the entire marketing campaign for Doomsday was a character is coming to Earth from space who is physically stronger than Superman, because DC had spent the last 60 years or whatever, 70 years, saying that Superman is the strongest physical character in their universe, and then I don't know if their fan base was like, well, it's not very interesting watching him go head to head with other characters when it ends in a fist fight.
Yeah.
So then they made it so Lex Luthor is smarter than Superman. And then they made it so that Parasite can absorb his powers. And then they made, what was his name? Metallo?
You're asking someone who does not read DC.
Oh, sorry.
I have no idea.
There was a character...
Parasite, I don't know who that is. Metallo.
Parasite was a character that absorbs powers the closer it gets to him. So the stronger you are and the closer you get, the stronger he gets.
Okay, yeah.
And the weaker you get. And then there was Metallo, where he's like he was like a cyborg.
Not to be confused with Metallo.
Who's,
I don't know. I was making up names.
Maybe his name is... No, I think his name is Metallo. I'm trying to remember. I don't read a ton of DC. But his whole gimmick was he's like a cyborg, but he's powered by a piece of kryptonite.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the closer Superman gets to him, the weaker he gets. Like, they tried coming up with conflict, and then I don't know who took over, but whoever came up with the idea for Doomsday and then wrote that story, like, didn't get it. And they were like, well, what if there just is a stronger guy than Superman?
What if they just fucking, like, punch each other like rock'em sock'em robots?
Exactly. And then, yeah. And it just, I don't know. So I think the fact that Snyder just went, oh, here's a strong guy, it's Doomsday. And Superman needs to die at the end of the movie, and in the comics, Doomsday did it, so we'll just do it here. It's like, yeah, alright, I get that. Like, I'd rather that than a 3-hour movie that focuses on Doomsday, which is like... There's nothing there. Like, the character has no story.
Yeah, now we're just going to get more of the Joker. So, woo!
Oh my god, yeah, the Joker's back in it. Apparently it's got, like, extended sequences with, like, evil Superman. I don't know. I'm curious to see, especially since rewatching Justice League, I'm more curious to rewatch his version of it. Not that I think it's going to fix problems or be better, but I'm just more curious to see what his original version, what he intended it on being. But I think people are fooling themselves when they think, oh, the 4-hour version of Justice League, this is what I signed up for originally. Like, I don't think Warner Brothers was originally, they were like, yeah, let's let him make a 4-hour punch-em movie between superheroes.
They're just looking at how much is it going to cost to do? How much do we think we're going to make?